Wanna see me make a return to Planet Coaster by finishing a ride I started 2 years back? Then this video's meant for you. This is Coaster Master, and I'll be seeing you on the other side. Hi friends, this is Coaster Master here. Welcome to episode 25 of Building an Indoor Theme Park. This is gonna be my grand return to Planet Coaster. And what better way to make a grand return to Planet Coaster by theming a roller coaster? Now, I know that theming a roller coaster isn't exactly what you guys would have wanted as the grand return to Planet Coaster, but this is a ride I've worked on for 2 years. Now, I understand that I actually started recording everything only in episode 19. That's when I started the making of this ride. But the idea of this ride and the whole theme and the layout, it was all planned since December. No, not December. Around June, July, August, maybe August 2019, somewhere around that time. So this ride has actually been in my head for 2 years, and finally it's done. And it just brings me so much happiness to finish this ride. And wow, I don't think that I've finished the space section yet. I don't know. I'll add maybe a flat ride here and there, but other than that, all the important stuff in the space section is done. Maybe I'll spend one more episode with theming the space section, adding maybe one or two flat rides, but don't really count on it because most of the important stuff is already done. So, I'm just feeling so happy to be back on Planet Coaster. After so many months of just playing Theme Park Tycoon 2 and avoiding Planet Coaster like the plague, it's just bringing me so much happiness to be back in Planet Coaster. And believe it or not, I actually finished most of the recording of this episode. Actually, not most of the recording. I think 6 minutes of the recording way before I started my Theme Park Tycoon 2 series. But I actually finished the recording after I finished my Theme Park Tycoon 2 series, except the live tour. So, I mean, it's just, I think this is the longest time I've spent on actually recording something, which makes sense considering I've been working on the design of this coaster since 2019. And I'm just feeling so happy with getting it done. And I've already told you about the theme of this coaster. It's just about going through wormholes. So yeah, that's kind of it. But I tried to give it a bit of a storyline. So basically, you're in this top secret spaceship research facility. Yeah, it's as ridiculous as it sounds, but please try to not laugh at this, okay? So this is a top secret spaceship research facility, and what we've done is taken scrap parts for spaceships and assembled them into our own Frankenstein spaceship. And now we're using that Frankenstein spaceship to explore planets. Yeah, that's it. If you want to have even more storyline, we've also discovered the making of wormholes. That's what that screen is there in the queue line. That's why that screen is there in the queue line. And if you want to have even more storyline, well, I'll just go through the ride in every piece. So we go out on the runway right out of the station after going through a laser gate because it looks cool. And after that, we go into a launch which takes us through the wormhole. And for some reason, the wormhole it actually goes through the moon rather than going through the earth. But hey, I thought, why not? Why not just start with a wormhole? So there are two different kinds of wormholes that I've put in this roller coaster. One is a blue colored wormhole, which is animated, and one is a white colored wormhole, which is not animated. And yeah, that's kind of it, really. So, so the first wormhole, it looks like the moon, but it isn't the moon. It's a completely different planet, and that planet happens to be really close to the sun. And I know, it sounds like it's Mercury, and yes, it really is Mercury. Okay, and then we go through space a little bit, and then we encounter the sun, and after encountering the sun we go through another launch which takes us through, I believe, what is our first wormhole. Then we go into an overbank, and I'm pretty sure then we go into another wormhole again. I don't remember the layout of this coaster very well, but I think after that we go into another launch where we do some S-bends. Then we go outside for no reason. Then we come back in, we see yet another planet. Then we go to the left and we see the fog covered planet that I made, I think, 6 to 7 months back. And then we take a turn to the right, which is the most intense part of the ride because you reach about 5 to 6 Gs over there. Yep, I know, totally normal for a family coaster to have such intense moments. And then we take another turn. No. Then we go up a launch lift hill, if I'm not wrong. Then we take a beyond vertical drop, just so that we can disorient everyone. Then we take a turn to the left. Then we go through our next wormhole. Then we take another turn to the left. And then we take another turn to the right. And then I think that's when we go back. Again, the layout isn't all that fresh in my head, but I think this is how it goes. And yeah, this is a coaster where I've actually done theming. I know that there are others out there that do better theming than me, but again, as I've said in previous episodes, my standard for theming is extremely low. So I think that for me, all this theming, it's a little too much actually. And yeah, I will be doing some off-screen stuff, mainly regarding covering the other two, the dueling spaceship coasters in the Starfield panel, because I actually made that coaster when I didn't know Starfield panel existed. So now that I know that it exists, I'm gonna put it on top of the screens with stars on them. And it really sells the space effect, those Starfield panels. Sure, it looks like the stars are copy pasted over and over again, which is what has been done actually, but I mean, it still looks miles better than what the screens look like. And that's more than good enough for me. Now, it's been 7 minutes into the commentary. 7.5 minutes actually. So, I only have to do what? 6 more minutes? Less than 6 minutes. Okay, what else can I talk about? So I used prolate spheroids and just made a circle out of them to make a planet. And then I just copy pasted those prolate spheroids and made a sphere out of them because I couldn't get a large enough sphere in Planet Coaster. That's how I made my planets, and that's why they look so fake, and that's why they don't look spherical, but I think they look fine. Yeah, there is one more thing that I want to talk to you about, and that is I'm gonna upload my first few things to the Theme Makers Toolkit. So, I just want to know how you can do that, because I've made a lot of stuff in Blender that I really want to upload to the Theme Makers Toolkit, mainly so I can use it in my own park. But I'm just not able to do that for some reason. And if any of you in the comment section, sorry, if any of you guys know how to just put stuff in the Theme Makers Toolkit, please let me know that in the comment section below, because I've just been having a hard time putting things in the Theme Makers Toolkit. It's just really difficult. And Google doesn't give any answers because I don't know. I actually don't know why Google doesn't give enough answers. I think as of now, the problem with my models is the level of detail, because you need to have 6 categories of level of detail. There is category 0 where you don't lose any detail, category 1 where you lose a little bit of detail, category 2 where you lose a lot of detail, and so on till category 5 where your model is just a blob or invisible. Yani, it's really small, and that's it. I've just not been able to put stuff in the theme makers toolkit, and I actually made an animated railroad crossing, because I think that the railroad crossing is exactly what the spark needs, because the train, it does go over a couple of parts, and I think that this train, it does need a railroad crossing that actually works like a railroad crossing instead of a fake one. And I think I can trigger it and just do a lot of cool stuff with it. But well, it's just impossible to put the stuff in the theme makers toolkit. Believe that. So I actually did a lot of calculations, and I timed everything so that the train, it would actually pass as it would pass in the time that I gave for the railroad crossing to work. So when the arms of the railroad crossing come down, that's when the train will go past the railroad crossing. I'll add a couple of triggers there, and I timed everything so that as soon as the train passes the railroad crossing, the arms would come back up, and they won't get triggered until another train passes. Speaking about the trains, yes, I have made a deeply intertwined, interconnected, whatever you want to call it, um, transportation system. And as much as I had wanted it to be underground, I think that having this overground has its own advantages. For starters, I can have snow over the rails, and since I've never seen, no, I think I have seen it, but since I haven't seen something like that in a really long time, I thought of making that in Planet Coaster, and the results are actually quite nice. And yeah, I'm impressed with the with the results and just how much detail Planet Coasters put into every little aspect of the game. It kind of makes me want to compare it to Theme Park Tycoon 2. And I understand that these two are games that you're not supposed to compare with each other, because Theme Park Tycoon is a free game on Roblox, and that's Roblox with its subpar graphics and stuff like that, versus Planet Coaster, which has some of the best graphics that I've seen. I mean, considering that the game was made in 2016, some of the best graphics and just really accurate coaster models, especially when compared to Theme Park Tycoon 2, where the trains are hilariously oversized compared to the tracks, and the tracks themselves are hilariously oversized. So it's outright ridiculous at times in Roblox when I play Theme Park Tycoon 2. And yeah, I do have a Theme Park Tycoon 2 series on Roblox, and be sure to check it out, because I think you'll like it. It's a short series, and there are 9 episodes where I build stuff, and there are 2 live tours of the park. So the first live tour was done when I painted the park white, and I added a few attractions off screen, because I couldn't record all that stuff back then. And the second live tour is what I'm gonna upload in the future, and I think it's gonna be this weekend if I'm not wrong. Again, I haven't planned the date exactly, but I'm considering doing it on the weekend. And that's the final tour of the whole park. I'm expecting the live stream to be between 2 hours and 4 hours, because it's a huge park and I want to show you every single attraction. So it'll take a long time, and I have to give 2 complete tours of the park, because I also have an underground monorail system in that park as well. And if I have an underground monorail system in that park and a path system, then it's just that is that I have to give a tour of the park with the monorail and without the monorail. Well, it's been a long time since I've said these words, but well, that's all I have for you today. This is Coaster Master signing out, and I'll see you next time on Building an Indo Theme Park, Part 26.